On the Nexus, as well as also honestly on Surrender at 20 if you want to check the post out over there, is a Choose Your Champion update for 2020, and there are 5 options on the table. Which champion should we update next year? As you can see here, there's Mundo, Fiddlesticks, Nocturne, Shyvana, and Volibear. And I'm just going to read it verbatim, so if you can't see it, it's hard to read, whatever, you can just listen and it's totally fine. A visual and gameplay update is where we redesign a champion from the ground up, including their gameplay, visuals, story, animations, voice acting, the works. It's an opportunity for us to bring an older champion to the modern standards we've applied, or amplifying what players already love about them. And this time, we want you and your help choosing one of the champions we'll update in 2020. We've selected 5 champions we see as high priorities for updates, and we're committed to working on whichever one you choose. You have until 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, West Coast time of the United States, on May 15th to vote. You may cast your vote at the bottom of the page, and you cannot change your vote after submission, so choose wisely. Let's talk about how we'd approach updating each of these champions. So first and foremost on the list is Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks has been on the list of champions we'd like to update for a while now, as not much about him has aged well. Our main goal with updating Fiddlesticks would be to push his theme of terrifying scarecrow that comes out of nowhere to a whole nother level through both his visuals and his gameplay. We want to preserve his unique mage jungler playstyle as well as his iconic ultimate Crowstorm. We'd also want to add more counterplay and satisfaction to his base kit while building on more synergies with Crowstorm. Next option, Shyvana. While Shyvana's overall visual and kit quality aren't as low as some of the other champions on this poll, she falls under the category of champions like Aurelia or Akali, who weren't fully delivering on their thematic promise before being reworked. If we were to update Shyvana, we'd be really looking to bring the fantasy of warrior who transforms into a fire-breathing dragon to life. We'd do this by keeping her damaged fighter playstyle while making her dragon form better express the theme of a destructive fire-breathing dragon, differentiating it much more than her human form. Nocturne, of course. Nocturne is an interesting case. He's one of the most popular champions amongst players just starting out League, but most of these players quit playing him shortly after trying him out. This suggests that Nocturne's gameplay and visual fantasies are very strong, but not strong enough to quite deliver keeping them in the game. If we updated Nocturne, we'd really want to drive home the promised fantasy of a living nightmare, leaving his enemies in total darkness. To accomplish this, we'd want to preserve his iconic ultimate but create a more deep and satisfying base kit to go along with it. We'd also enhance his visuals so that he lives up to the title of the Eternal Nightmare. Dr. Mundo. Dr. Mundo's art and animations need a lot of work, but his kit has held up pretty well over the years relative to some of the other candidates. If we were to update Mundo, we'd want to execute much better on his theme of a horrifyingly yet hilarious masochist madman who goes wherever he pleases and does whatever he wants. For his gameplay, we'd want to preserve his niche as an unkillable, self-healing super tank, since that's currently what makes him stand out from the roster, as well as his iconic cleavers. His W and E don't currently offer a lot of satisfaction or decision making, so we'll be looking to replace and or upgrade both of those abilities. Volibear. When Volibear launched, his kit didn't land well at all, and his gameplay has proven unsatisfying to the point where he's the least played champion on this poll. His role in Runeterra has also evolved a lot since he was released, and if we were to update Volibear, we'd want to make sure he delivers on an imposing, lightning-fueled demigod of the Fjord. For his kit, we'd be aiming to make him less feast or famine, while giving Volibear a more unique gameplay identity that stands out in League's champion roster. His kit changes would have a secondary goal of pushing his gameplay to feel more like an unstoppable force who charges his foes with the power of a ferocious bear. Some other helpful things to note. The champions who don't win the vote currently aren't out of the running to receive a VGU, and they'll be considered for future updates. These champions aren't necessarily the next 5 will update either. We may choose to update the others first, depending on how this vote is received. We may consider doing it again, but don't plan on deciding future VGUs with a vote. And finally, there's a chance that whichever champion wins won't actually be the first VGU released in 2020, mostly because it depends on how smoothly early exploration goes. With that said, which champ would you like to see updated? Now, I already voted, and I'm going to say I voted for Volibear, while I do, like, for example, Nocturne, I actually think he just really needs visuals even more than his kit. Not that his kit couldn't use an update, but like for me, why I chose Volibear is just because I think Nocturne is actually kind of there, right? His ultimate's pretty satisfying depending and stuff like that. He just really needs visuals. Shyvana's a bit of the same way, where they kind of want to do work on the dragon form, but she's not like 100%, you know, in need of the rework. Mundo kind of already stands out a little bit, but of course he could use mostly visuals and stuff. Fiddlesticks was probably going to be my other option then, as someone who could probably use a bit more than just visuals to get him by. Again, not that Mundo, Nocturne, and Shyvana don't need more than that, it's just that out of these 5, I feel like Nocturne probably is the least on my list for these 5, because I just feel like if they give him better visuals and a better like model and rig and stuff, he could probably last another couple years or so before he really needed more kit work. While the other 4, meanwhile, is kind of a little bit in that boat too with like Shyvana and Mundo. It was down to Fiddlesticks and Volibear, and I see more Fiddlesticks than I do Volibear. Fiddlesticks was even in pro play at some point last year. Fiddlesticks can get by, I feel like, more than Volibear can. I really never see Volibear ever anymore. So that was my choice. Not saying that's the correct choice. I'm not saying that to say that's the choice you better make. But some people are going to come at me like, why did you choose Volibear? You should have chose Nocturne or Shyvana or something like that. You know? And you're not wrong. That's my reasoning. There we go. With something like Fiddlesticks, I think what could be interesting is like when you take old Swain's ultimate, I think you could do something like that for Fiddlesticks ultimate. I was gonna say Kriddlesticks, because you know, crit Fiddlesticks. You could maybe do something like that for Fiddlesticks' ultimate, right? Like you keep the ultimate the same as it is, and then when he's near people, he bounces crows off of them or something like that too, and just kind of play up that thematic fantasy. If you look at one of the old cinematics, he fought Twisted Fate. He had a whole army of crows behind him, and it was a battle actually. So like, there's a lot that could be done there. Don't get me wrong. Mundo, meanwhile, I feel like, yes, visually, especially, more so than even his kit, could come up to date. They mentioned the W and the E could also feel a bit more satisfying. I do agree there. Nocturne, I kind of get my piece there. Shyvana, I feel like Shyvana's kind of like an in-between for me, where she's like, she could use an update. I'm not saying she couldn't, but I think she can, especially with the AP buffs to her dragon form. Kind of plays up that fantasy a little bit. It just could be more impressive. As impressive as the amount of art there is for like Iron Scale Shyvana. There's just a lot of Iron Scale Shyvana art out there, and I didn't realize that until I was trying to make a thumbnail involving these champions. And even though I was looking up Shyvana, it was still just Ironclad Shyvana that kept showing up. So, you know, there's that. So that's why I chose Volibear. In the comment section down below, who did you choose? Who do you think needs this update the most, and why? And you know what? I'm not going to attack you for your choice if you did choose Volibear, by the way. I'm really not. Just let me clarify that. But that's all from this video from me. So thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. Follow the Twitter, the YouTubes, the Twitch streams, and all that good jazz. But I don't know which video will be next, because life can have a lot of kinks. So until next time, take care. GG, get jinxed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy pizza responsibly.